Hey, it's Nick Carlson, and I just won round 6 on the next tour.
What does it feel like to be a winner on the next tour?
Money helps, but just being able to compete and shoot 9 under and win against an unreal field, yeah, it feels pretty dang good. Yeah, my phone's been blowing up, so it's been good. It's been really good.
You know, last champion that we talked to kind of waited back and held off into the cut a little bit to kind of figure out what he and she had to do. How did that work out for you? What was your strategy kind of going into this 6th round in Innisbrook?
So honestly, like, I told someone, I think earlier in the day, that I was just trying to shoot better than 4 under. I had been watching the closest to the pin leaderboard, and was like, if I can hit all 5 greens, like there's some extra cash right there. So I just kind of had the mindset.
So the strategy was just to hit the greens.
Yeah, but only the par 3s. I mean, I just kind of let everything else kind of go. I was just trying to make some extra change, and I love the side games, and then boom, well, now we're here. So it's just been a little bit crazy, to say the least.
How do you celebrate in that moment, though? Like, is it like, oh, okay, I got 50 G's coming at me, or is it like, holy shit, I just won this shit? Like, what do you do?
Honestly, like, I kind of started to tell myself around 3 o'clock my time, so about 3 hours to go, that I had won it. And then there was a couple people playing in Sweden that kind of started to make a run, and then I had to talk myself out of it. But yeah, when it hit, I was actually on the golf course playing with some friends, and it didn't really hit me, like I said, until the Instagram post came out, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is real.
When we started this season, Rachel and I were going back and forth. I was getting roasted. She was getting clowned for the Englishmen and women, and no one from the States was playing, and it was just like Nordic domination.
Yeah.
And now you and Michigan win, so now we got cold weather people winning this thing. What is it about kind of where you are that gave you an advantage this week?
So oddly enough, I've got a little Scandinavian situation going on because my fiance's from Iceland, and that's how I learned about next tour. But honestly, like, the biggest help for me was a piece of information for putting that I didn't know about until I got back to the U.S., where I played my TrackMan this last round. My buddy showed me how, like, the up and down on putting works, so getting your pace, so be able to get your pace right. So for me, like, judging your up and down, not only with the grid, but like with what the information is telling you, the 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 or whatever, being able to, like, figure out, like, for me, it feels like this to hit it this far, just like, your full swing and calculating the percentages in the rough and the sand and this and that. But I think this last tournament and even Muirfield before that, when I learned about the putting, I mean, it's just made it a lot easier. So that's been a big help.
What's it been like for you trying to play golf at the highest level?
Really difficult. Yeah, really difficult. Financially, it's like almost impossible. And there's times where I think I drove home from the next tour with like $50 in my bank account. So, and I drove from Ohio, from a friend's house, back up to Michigan and my parents, so I can give some lessons and stuff this week to play in whatever comes up next. But yeah, so I mean, it's difficult, but it's not impossible. And now that the whole next tour thing, 50 grand is going to help me along the way. But yeah, up until this point, it's paycheck to paycheck. If you play well in an event, now I can go play in the next event. If I play well in that one, I can go play in the next one.
Is it going to be more of an exhalation for you, like where it's like, whew? Or when that money hits, it's going to be like, finally, I got some cheese. Let's go play some shit. Like, how are you planning to manage this situation?
Yeah, a bit of both, honestly. Like, I get to sign up for, whatever it might be, like 3 events, 4 events, so that I have a set schedule, and then I'm ready to go. And then on the other hand, I also get to guarantee myself that I get to play in DP World Q School again.
Well, I tell you what you did do, sir, is that you may have hit the shot, maybe the best shot in simulator golf history, made the best birdie in simulator golf history. On 16, you hit it. Well, first of all, let's go back. You were in the snake pit. I've hit that shot. I played the 2018 Florida Open there at Innisbrook, and I hit that shot. Same thing you did. I didn't hole out the second shot, but I hit it in the water right off that tee. But let's go through the whole hole because you're on the tee box, you have a great round going, and then disaster strikes.
Yeah, so I'd been hitting driver like unreal the whole round, and I get to that hole, and I think I honestly, like looking back at it, I think I just misjudged the wind on top of hitting a heel ball like that, like two bad things, like the wind's pushing it, plus you heeled it, it's gonna go right, all those things. But the way it kind of curved, I thought for a second in my head that I could drop at like 140 yards or something, like up by the trees. And then I quickly remembered, like, it's TrackMan, so it never crossed, and there's clearly blatant obvious, I thought maybe with the way it curved that it did. And maybe in real golf you might have said yes, but TrackMan was like, no, it did not cross. And so I was like, at that moment in time, I was like, oh boy, like this is Paul Casey-esque right here. Like I got to drop way back, and I don't know what's going to happen. So my option was either deep rough in like 295 or pine straw at 296. And I knew the pine straw had a better power percentage than the deep rough, so I went with that.
Wow.
I went with that as an option just because I knew I could hit it a little bit further and have a little bit more curve on it to where I didn't have to lay up. I could kind of send it over the water, and I knew, like the club I chose, the mini driver, I knew it was going to get over the water, and then
the mini driver. Oh, that's
so I knew, like, for whatever reason it was going to get over the water and be within 50 yards of the green, worst case. And I had hit a similar shot on 14, so I just kind of thought back to that and tried to pure it, and this time, unlike 14, I pured it. So it came off nice, and then the algorithm or whatever TrackMan calculations it was just perfect. I mean, yeah, it was just crazy. Like on the video that you guys posted, like the way I described it was exactly like it just kept curving and curving, and then it smashed the flag and went in. It was just unreal. Not zero expectation of that, and yeah, it's turned out to be quite the talking point on the socials, and people, like, you know.
If I look in the system, your name is Bump Carlson. How the hell? Is there a story behind Bump? Gotta give me something.
Yeah, we were leaving for a college event at like 2:30 in the morning out of Detroit to get to Puerto Rico, and everyone's just sleep deprived. And my teammate looked at me, and I don't know if he was sleeping or what, but he said, you know what, you remind me of a bumper. I'm going to call you Bumper. And I said, all right, man, you do you. And it turned into Bump by the end of that week down in Puerto Rico. And I had a decent week that week. And then the next year it was on, you know, head covers or yardage books or whatever it was. And everyone's just kind of called me Bump. And so college teammates still do. And it's funny. I mean, it's either Carlson or Bump. And when the name was taken on TrackMan, I went with Bump. So here we are.
You know, you coming in, you said you had, you know, played some decent golf throughout the season, and now you're smack dab in the middle of a Order of Merit race where you got Challenge Tour starts, DP World Tour starts. You got to be looking forward to that to some degree, but is there a little pressure on you, do you feel?
Yeah, tons. I mean, I know the next tour is going to be asking when I'm playing, where I'm playing, what time, all that jazz. And I'm kind of fly by the seat of my pants kind of guy. I've got I coach a D3 school, so I've got to go do their spring break here. And I won't be able to play until maybe the 12th. Try to hit the best shot each hole, each time, and whatever happens, happens. And maybe we'll stick to the old, just try to hit the par 3 greens and go from there.
I appreciate you, man, and go out, and best of luck to you, my good sir.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate the time. We'll talk to you.
Let's go, baby. 50 grand. Let's go.